Hey everybody, it's Jochen Hayden, and I'm back with the Hellsen versus Hayden campaign. This is scenario 2 of the Grand Campaign. You may be wondering why we're starting it December 7th again. If you haven't seen it yet, watch my previous video and I'll explain it. Long story short was I was getting my butt kicked. I did a terrible job deploying the Kido Butai. We took a bunch of torpedoes in the Akagi. It was going to probably sink. And on top of that, I really screwed up the deployment of my divisions and their fragments at the opening stages of the last campaign because I didn't know what I was doing. And I just got myself in a hole, and Hellsen could tell that I was in a hole, and he offered to restart. So we're restarting, and I think this time it's going to go a lot better. I've done a lot of optimizing, and I think I'm going to present you with a better campaign and a better effort for the Japanese. So without further ado, let's get started, and let's pray for a better December 7th. Okay, guys, here we go, version 2. I hope this goes better than the first time. All right. Looks like we're already starting off with a midget sub attack, which is not unlike the first time we did the campaign. I guess it was just meant to happen, right? So it looks like the Pennsylvania takes one midget sub torpedo. The rest are getting tangled up or not making it out. Okay, so that went similar to before, which is fine. I'll take a free torpedo hit there. It cost us a few midget subs. For those of you who are sticking around me and being patient with my nonsense here, thank you very much. And thanks again to Hellsen again for allowing me to right my wrongs, as it were. Hopefully this thing goes better, because boy, our first turn on the last start was no bueno. I mean, nothing went right. Remember, like right off the bat, Kido Butai had lost a destroyer to a submarine attack near the Philippines. I mean, how bad does it get? Okay, so now we're starting off with Wake Island. And again, I did that last time, but this time I've added a little more extra firepower to it. I've actually brought in a bombardment task force to soften it up first. And hopefully by doing this, I suppress the Wildcats, and it allows my bombers to hit the place without getting shot down. So that's kind of why I went with this. And this is something I did not do before. Alright, so unfortunately it does not look like we cut... Oh, I did. Okay, good. We did damage some of the Wildcats, which hopefully keep them from flying. Minagumo takes one shell hit, no big deal. And we put some damage and disruption on the base. That's not bad. Okay, so we go right into the air phase. Okay, we're spotting subs. Okay, excellent. So we're starting off on a good foot. We got a sweep coming in from Sok Trang, and it looks like we're going to catch a bunch of buffaloes here, and that's exactly what I want to happen. This is best case scenario. We're going to shoot down the cap before my bombers come in, and then they won't have to deal with this. So I'm already feeling better about how this is going. So let's see how this resolves. Very good. So we take no losses up front. The buffaloes, at least 5 are shot down, and hopefully we cleared the way for bombers to come in behind them. Okay, Tojo's sweeping over there. Excellent. Oh man, this is good. Okay. So we have another sweep coming in from Bangkok, and we're hitting Georgetown. I wish we had caught some of the buffaloes, but I'll take these Blenheim 1Fs as well. Oh, so we got one Blenheim. Unfortunately, the buffaloes get away. So my Nels get to come into Wake Island unopposed. This is way better for me. So now I won't take any air-to-air losses from these guys. And in the previous campaign, it was always a crapshoot if the Wildcats would be flying at Wake. So by the bombardment going in first, it basically suppressed all the Wildcats, so they had no chance to fly, which is great. Okay, this is working out good. Now, I got bombers coming in to hit Singapore. Now, we're going to take a lot of flak losses. That's unavoidable. But we're not going to deal with fighter opposition, which is really good for me. So I really can't be too upset about this. All right, so yeah, I'm expecting heavy flak losses here. That's just... Oh! Oh! You see that? The repulse is in Singapore! Oh, yes! Oh, this is good. This is good for me. Oh, yes. Okay, this is awesome, guys. The repulse is in Singapore. Oh, yeah. Thank God. I was worried that it was going to be formed up and head up the Malayan coast, but we're actually going to do a lot of damage to it now. So I want to go ahead and resolve this, and let's see what we get. Hopefully the Prince of Wales is in there too, but this is good news for me. Alright, so these are the losses we took. Nice. So the repulse is hit, the Prince of Wales is hit. And you notice that I didn't hit a lot of other ships. That's what happens when the Prince of Wales and the repulse are in port. Your bombers see those and go, oh, I want to hit those. Those are the big guys. So it looks like we didn't use any 800 kilogram bombs, unfortunately. But we probably plastered these guys with enough 250 kilogram bomb hits that their system damage is very high and their combat ineffective. So while they're probably not going to sink, I'm almost certain that they won't. They're not going to come after me. He's probably going to have to get him out of there, and they're going to have fire damage, flooding, maybe not a lot of flooding damage, but a lot of system damage, which makes them ineffective. I'm fine with that. It's a mission kill. This is really good for me. All right. I'm already feeling way better than this. Okay. Our first raid going into Manila is looking great. It's fully formed up. We have no coordination issues here. This is best case scenario. Oh, guys, I gotta tell you, the first time we went through this, these guys went in uncoordinated. The fighters were up. You name it. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. This is the best chance I have for doing damage to a lot of ships in Manila when the Nels and the Bettys fly together. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and resolve this, and let's see what we get. So far, I'm happy with this. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A lot of subs are hit, guys. A lot of subs are hit. Let's see. Did we get the Langley? Yes, the Langley. I wanted to get the Langley. Oh, yes. This is so much better. I think I've used up all my bad luck on the last 4 turns I played, so now I'm getting rewarded with a better roll this time. Much better. Okay, right off the bat, I'm feeling 100% better about this campaign than I was before. Okay, strike on Hong Kong. Not too much to see here. 1 Sonia destroyed by flak. A lot of ships are hit and on fire. That's good. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Bombing raid in China at Pengpu. You may notice this time I'm not getting crazy with Cagayan, so we'll talk about it in the analysis, but yeah, that was not a good idea last time, so. Okay, raid on Georgetown, unopposed, no fighter cover. So let's see how this one goes. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, man! Look at this. A lot of Buffaloes are damaged. A couple aircraft destroyed on the ground. A few ships sunk in port, and I think they're harbor defense motor launches, and that's okay. But these bigger ships are taking some damage. That's some good stuff right there. Oh, this is so much better. Okay, the Sally cleanup crew's coming in, and they're going to hit these guys as well. Alrighty, we're hitting subs. We're hitting subs. That's what I'm talking about right there, guys. Oh, man. Come on. Give me some more. God, I feel so much better. Nice. Okay, Hong Kong. This is just targeting the airfield so we can't build forts. Okay, I'm hitting Kotobaru, and this is not a airfield strike. This is actually just a ground attack strike. I think it, at least I think it is. Let me make sure here. Yep. Okay. So this was not a ground attack. Wait, let me rephrase that. This was not an airfield attack. This was just a ground attack, and here's the reason why. On this go through on this campaign, initially I had gone for Kwanton, but now when I realized what I had done, it was just too far south to support. So, basically what I was trying to do now is just soften up the ground unit so I can take it quickly, because this is going to be my airfield. Because it's easier, it's closer to my lines for me to support right off the bat. Okay, a little bombing at Pakoi, nothing, no big deal. Oh, I can't believe this is so much better, guys. Oh, this is cool. Alright, this did not happen before. So he's sending in bombers to Nanchang, and I think he's trying to knock my units out of move mode here. Hopefully we shoot these guys down. I do have some cap up, so he didn't do this before. This is fully allowed. With our house rules, the player is allowed to make all moves in China, the allied player. Nowhere else on the ground but here, which includes the air units, so that's perfectly okay. Well, dang it, looks like one's gonna get through. That might have been enough. It may have knocked this guy out of move mode. I like it though, it's bold. I get what he's doing here, and it's not a bad idea. Okay, it looks like we did stop this attack. Ah, he's really going for it. And he's wearing down my cap fighters. Well, it looks like we stopped it again. Alright, so he's trying to bomb my troops in Nanchang to keep them from moving faster, to block off his troops retreating. I think that's not a bad idea. Fortunately, I thought about that, and I had some cap up. I don't want to say I planned on him doing that. I just kind of, thought that might be a possibility, so I put the cap up just in case. And, he went for it. Okay, that's the AM phase. Lots of stuff sinking so far. Alright guys, I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back with you. Okay, let's continue. So far, I've got 0 complaints. This has gone far, far better than the last time. Alright, so it looks like right now he's using all of his aircraft in Pearl for ASW. Well, actually, I take that back. Whatever's defaulting to that is what it is. He isn't allowed to necessarily control those aircraft on turn 1 per the rules. So whatever's set to scout stuff is what it is. Okay, this is the PM phase. Hopefully the old cleanup crew shows up. Oh, you guys see that in the Philippines? You see that little red dot? Look at that. Okay. Well, now if you guys were wondering where the Keto Butai was at, here it is. I have elected for a Manila strike because I want nothing to survive. I just wish we could get these P-40s to get any action, but they probably won't. Alright, 1 second. Alright, let's see what happens here. Nice. Already starting with putting 800 kilogram bombs in subs. That's what we need. Nice. Another hit on a sub. This is exactly what. Oh, thank goodness. All right, let's keep it up. That is so good. I wanted these subs destroyed. I could not ask for better. Cool. That's a Clemson class. Okay, I think we can see that this is going to go well. So let's go ahead and resolve it and see what we get. You guys want some You want some of this? No? Wow, look at this. Look at this. Oh, you know what else I like? Are these PT boats. I need to kill these guys because they are a pain in the butt. You guys, I don't know if you noticed, but the PT boats on my last turn, got in here and caused all kinds of problems. So here we go. I see a lot of subs hit. Yeah, this is some good stuff. And it looks like our Vals were lobbing 800 kilogram bombs, which is, you know, when these things hit, it's lights out. Okay, so these are my Kates. These are from the mini KB. I have them hitting Cebu just in case the Boise decided it wanted to come out and play, or didn't. Okay, in case he kept it in port rather, which it does. I don't know if he didn't or we just missed, but we didn't hit it, so that means we either just straight missed it, or he is left the port. I don't really know yet, but there you go. And we were hitting 800 kilogram bombs, man. If we had caught it in port, we would have finished it. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay. I guess we had a few, okay, well, I guess a few Wildcats survived the initial bombing, but not enough to stop the the bombers coming in. Okay, now we're going to have to deal with some Dutch counter strikes here. And it's probably some, okay, we got a lot of British going to probably hit us at Kotabaru, but this time I brought a lot of cap. I've got more than I had before, and since we're not having to cover Kwanton, I can concentrate my cap in fewer hexes, right? I had to cover Patani, Kotabaru, and Kwanton last time, and it was just too much of a stretch for my guys. They couldn't do it. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm guessing we kill some of these guys. Yes. So the first raid is repulsed. Okay, now we have more coming out of Singapore. These are unescorted, so let's see how we do with this. Okay, looks like we stopped that raid as well with losses. Okay, some Blenheims coming in to Singapore. Unfortunately, our cap seems to have missed them entirely, and now we're gonna have to hopefully they miss, which they did. Okay, I'm not too worried about the Blenheims. They're not particularly well trained for this, and they're bombing at high altitude. What I am worried about are the torpedo planes. Okay, never mind. I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about them at all. Ah, yes, the sound of sinking Allied ships. So now begins our amphibious unloading. So now we're landing at Kuching this time as opposed to Singkawang. And the reason that I elected to go into Kuching was I was concerned about Force Z, and this gives me a little bit more standoff range and a little bit more distance. This is sticking out like a sore thumb. This is not. And as you can see, we took no hits and we're landing. All right, cool. Okay, again, as before, I am going into a pari again because with the rule set that I've adopted here, I can't land within 3 hexes of a size 4 port, which basically invalidates a lot of these other bases here. And I'm fine with the pari because we have a plan for this. Oh man, that's a lot of losses, huh? Okay, this is Wake. I think this is going to go well because we brought in a little extra firepower that we did not have before. So, looks like the Natsushio and the Hitora Maru take a shell hit, but we are landing our troops. And this time I'm coming in with a disposition of forces that I did not have before. Okay, I'm using a SNLF and the 146th Infantry Regiment, which is kind of an orphaned infantry regiment. It doesn't really go to any of the unrestricted divisions that the Japanese have from the start. Okay, so now we are landing at Guam. All right. And we are landing at Kotobaru. With a lot of stuff. Let me tell you right now, it's going to be a lot. Yeah, these losses are high because I'm coming in with a lot. Okay, we're landing at Minato again because I just think it's the best real option for us. Okay. Now this is different. You notice we are landing at a non-base hex. This is an amphibious landing on the beach. Okay. Take a look. This is what we lost. 22nd Air Flotilla. Okay. More landing at Kotobaru. Man. So far, so good, guys. This has gone as good as I could have hoped for. All right. Starting off in China. Good result there. Okay, hopefully this goes off well because I need to win here early on. So there you go. We have a Japanese Air Force company, SNLF, and an infantry regiment attacking these guys. We got it.
Hello, my misguided friends. This is your #1 enemy,
Yes.
Orphan Ann from Radio Tokyo, with another blow
Look
to
at
your
that. Got the
morale
Wildcats.
and some music to console you. Today, the Imperial government announced that the ever-victorious forces of the Japanese Empire have captured Wake.
Wake. All right. Okay. So these are our forces that landed at Kuching. We're going to have to basically take this bombardment. But this is the we got 3-1 odds here against these guys. We should be able to take this next turn. All right. Again, this turn I've elected to do the paradrops as before because I like the way I chained together these bases. Cool. So that went exactly as I wanted to again. And now we have a straight shot all the way down into Cabanatuan and into Manila. Oh man, this was a much, much better outcome this turn than the last one. Um, I our air attacks went better. They were more coordinated, which again I have no control over that. That's Gary Grigsby and his dice rolls. I don't determine if they go well or not. They just happen to go well for us now. We didn't lose any ships that I know of other than the mini subs. We slammed Manila, right? This is, and we know exactly where Force Z is at, and we put the hurting on it. Now, I guarantee it won't sink. I don't think it's going to sink, but it is mission killed and combat ineffective. So it's not going to come out after us because its system damage is just too high. Wow. All right, let's analyze this. But so far, so good. My spirits are lifted, and I feel so much better now. Like, this is the kind of start that I was hoping for the last time around, and finally we got it. Let's take a look at it. Okay, guys. So, the Gary Grigsby gods have shown upon us better today than before. I really cannot complain about anything that happened this turn. It all went as good as I think it could have. Let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, aircraft losses today. They were high for us, but you know, you got to pay to play, right? 17 Nels were shot down due to flak, but none due to air, which is really good for me. Okay, he lost. It says 14, but it was 12. 12 Wildcats at Wake. You know, fog of war stuff. Some Buffaloes were shot down. 5 Bettys due to flak. That's acceptable rate of loss. We shot down a few other assorted aircraft, and we lost to Sonia, Adina, and Atina. And he lost, looks like an SB3 and 829 in China. So 38 losses to 27. Looking at the top pilots, our casualty rates for the Japanese pilots, unfortunately, were rather high. So 26 killed this turn, 29 total. We had lost a few due to ops losses moving the aircraft around at the beginning of the campaign. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. But we already got some pilots with some kills on the board, including this beast over here, Senda N. Oh, wait, that's 3 missions. I thought it said 3 kills. Never mind. Well, good job anyway, Nate Driver. He actually shot something down. Looking at the Army loss points, this is a lot better than the last time because I did lose a task force coming out of Sama, right? I learned my lesson, didn't do that again. So 63 to 1, that's perfect. Allied ship sunk. Look at this bag. Yeah, boy. Look at all those subs. That was my target, man. I think we nailed them. I don't think we got them all, but we got more than half, 2/3, 3/4 of them. And I'm sure there's a few that are smoldering right now in Manila that aren't going to move anywhere. And you know what? Fine with me. So I'm very happy with the Manila strike. I know we sank more ships than what's being listed here, so you know, that's all good. Very good. There's the total list. And of course, we lost 4 mini subs. Okay. So for the turn, we gained 283 points, bringing the Allied win ratio down to 6.129. So moving in the right direction already off the bat. Great look right now. Guys, I'm really happy with this. Let's take a look at the combat report information. So right off the bat, it always goes up here for whatever reason, but we did get a torpedo into the Pennsylvania. It was a mini sub, so this probably won't do like more than 14 or 15 flotation damage. It's not gonna be anything, but it's something. Okay, and then we had a naval bombardment at Wake, which I think was good for us because what it did was it disrupted the troops and it got the Wildcats messed up so that when my bombers came in, they weren't in the air. So obviously we did shock attack and take Wake. Again, I used fewer troops than before, right? I only used the 146th Infantry Regiment and an SNLF. Before I had one of the 48th Division regiments plus a recon regiment. So I was able to save the recon regiment and use less force here, which is excellent. Very, very happy with this. I think the preparation I put into it this time, bringing additional bombardment task forces, is what won the day for us. But we got Wake. We grabbed Tugu Garao. We took Pangpu. We are on the ground at Kuching. And Bayambong. We grabbed that too. Just like before, where I did paratroop landings there because I wanted it that way. Amphibious, we landed at Wake, Manado, Kuching. So this is, I'll explain this when we go around the map, but this was intentional. I wanted to go here this time. We landed at Kotabaru, Guam, Apari, and this non-base hex right here. And I'll explain that again when we go around the map and we look at Malaya. I'll explain it. So, air-to-air combat today. We had Wake. These aircraft flew and tried to bomb us. They didn't do too good. Kuching, some Dutch 139s attempted to hit us here but failed. Kotabaru, we had a few attacks here and we were able to repel most of them. We took no ship losses at all there. Singapore, we hit it with a full strike. First we went in there and swept it out, which is great because it cleared all the opposition in the air for the turn. Okay. So you'll notice that we didn't hit a lot of ships. The reason being is the bombers are going in there and they see two huge battleships in port. And Hellsen made the choice to disband them here. There's a few things you can do with 4C. You can send it up the Malacca Strait. You could send it up the west side of Malaya. You could send it due south to try to escape through the Java Sea. Or you can leave it in port. Those are all options to the allied player. He elected to ride out the storm in Singapore. And when that happens, your bombers try to target these more than the other smaller ships because they see big, huge ships, and that's what they want to hit. So they soaked up a lot of our bombs. Neither of these will sink. I'll tell you right now, they did not sink. They're not going to sink. But they've taken a lot of system damage. And when your system damage is at or above 50, the ship is not really combat effective, right? The fire control doesn't work. The fire suppression doesn't work. Your damage control is bad. You're at high risk of flotation damage just being out on the ocean. So I would assume, or I would conclude, that the Repulse and the Prince of Wales are mission killed. So now he just needs to figure out how to get them out of here. But as far as them actually sinking, I doubt it. But I'm fine with that. This is better than him fleeing due south. I would never have seen them again because we had no carriers in the Java Sea this time. So this is the next best thing. Manila, there you go. We smashed it. First of all, my first bombing raid went in perfectly. No coordination issues. So the first attack was right off the bat, very deadly. Okay. And we also hit it with some sallies, which did more damage. And then on top of that, I elected to use the Kido Butai at Manila for one turn. I don't intend to stick around here indefinitely, but I wanted to put a punctuation mark on this and make sure that we did as much damage as we could to every sub we could. Because I hate subs. I hate them. So I'm very fine with this. Hong Kong, not much to talk about here. We did hit a lot of ships, which is good. Hopefully these are less ships that I have to deal with later on. Georgetown, we had a really good raid, and we knocked out a lot of buffaloes. And these buffaloes are stuck there for a bit because they can't rail out of there. Okay? Georgetown is not on the rail line, so they either have to fly or they have to get repaired. He can't rail them out like he can with like ships stuff to Singapore. Cebu, I attempted to hit the Boise and Port, but we missed. We straight missed, which is a shame because these bombs would have destroyed it. But I still think it's there. Kotabaru, we hit just the troops. China, a few things, nothing major. And then, of course, we had a bombing raid in Wake to soften up the troops there. and we were bombed several times in Nanchang, and I'll show you right now. Our cap did its job. Okay, they did the job well, and none of my troops were knocked out of move mode because not enough bombs hit the target. So we're well on our way to blocking these hexes next turn. So well done to our cap fighters there. All right, SIGINT. A lot of radio transmissions at Pearl. That's to be expected. Monado, these guys are screaming for help because they just saw this massive fleet landing there. And a few places in Soviet Union, I don't really know why they get radio calls. And Loyang, which is in China. That's all we get for SIGINT. So, looking at the ops report, there's just a couple things I want to point out. Japanese, we captured Wake, Bayambong, and Tugugarao. That's very similar to last go through. And submarine. I counted these up, and right off the bat, I am counting 19 destroyed Allied subs. Now, that doesn't mean that there could be more that are dead, and there could be more that are about to die, but these are what's been reported to have sunk. And if it's reported, that means that it's good. This is us intercepting the Americans telling someone else that these have been reported to have been sunk. So 19 confirmed, some kills right off the bat in Manila. I couldn't ask for better than that. All right, so that's it for the ops report stuff. That's combat reporter. We'll just start in China. So far, we've cleared the rail line from Shanghai up to Luqiao. And we'll continue working up this road here. I've got troops moving to take Cavite and the road junction here to open up the rail line. And everything else in China is more or less as it was before. Nothing really shocking right here. My plan in China I thought was good initially. I did some superficial tweaks of some little things, but not enough to even talk about right now. If you saw the start of my last attempt at this campaign, it's more or less the same plan in China right now. So it's going according to plan. It's all good. Okay. So in Indochina, just same as before, we're moving stuff around. My bombers flew out of Saigon and hit Singapore. So this is where things get a lot different from the last campaign. Let's take a look. At Victoria Point, we've landed at Chumphon, and I actually am using this 143rd Regiment. I intend to form it up here once all these guys land. We're going to knock out Victoria Point quickly, and then I can either send this regiment up to help with Rangoon or south to help with Malaya. But as you're about to see, I don't think we're going to need a lot of help with Malaya. So, I decided this time around that I didn't want to use the Kato Battalion here because it was just not safe. It was not safe. So I decided to, for this time around, I didn't want to go past Kotobaru because I've got naval forces up here, and I was able to provide better cap support close in. Kuantan was too big of a stretch. Mersing, I am not really prepared to do that this time. And as you can see, we have no troops staging for a turn 2 Mersing Gambit. I don't think I want to do it. I've accepted the fact that it's just going to take longer to take Malaya, but I do have some plans here. So you notice I landed at this non-base hex, right? I landed 4 armored units here. And what they're going to do is they're going to go into move mode along with this infantry support. And we're going to rush into this hex here to block the allies from retreating out of Alloy Star. Now, there's at least 2 brigades of British troops, Indian troops in Alloy Star. And any little bit that I can prevent from getting into Singapore is better. So at least we trap these troops here. And then the guys from Singora will come in and take them out. And then from there, my armor will start moving down the road and just slowly but surely work their way through here and blast a hole, just like Blitzkrieg. As the armor goes down this road here, we'll stop engage what we have to. Then we will leapfrog through here using pursuit mode until we get all the way down to Johor. And all the while, the infantry from Singora will be following behind and mopping up whatever's left. Armor's going to drive hard to get down here as quickly as possible. We also have a line of events coming from Kotobaru with lots of troops there. but it will take them a bit longer because this terrain is not so great. So they're going to be on these little railroads, which I think you only get about 15 hexes a day movement on these. I'm sorry, 15 miles a day. So it's going to take about 3 to 4 days per, yeah, 3 to 4 days per hex to move through here until we get down to about Kuala Lumpur. And then once we get back on this major road, it speeds up again. At some point, we will land at Mersing, but it's not going to be a Mersing gambit per se. It's just going to be a regular landing at Mersing just to get troops inserted once we have other troops in the area ready to go. I don't intend on doing a Mersing gambit this campaign because I don't have the carriers here to back it up, and I just don't feel comfortable overextending my aircraft. It's a lot of long range cap we'd have to fly to do that, and it's just too much on them. So, yep, we're just going to play it nice and slow coming down here. And if I grab Singapore by January 1st, I'll be very happy with that. January 1st works for me. That still maintains a decent timetable and allows us to continue into Java and all the other places we got to go. Okay, so we landed at Kuching, right? And if you notice here, I have a air flotilla, the 22nd flotilla. So what's going to happen is we're going to take this base, and then I'm going to start building it up, and I'm going to transfer all these bombers that are at Saigon down to here to operate and provide me coverage through all of the Dutch East Indies from Kuching. We can get deep into the Celebes Sea, look, about 17 hexes, right? All around, and that'll give us some good protection from heavy enemy surface units, since I don't have the Kido Butai in the area to assist. So that's the plan with this place. I think we already talked about the Philippines. How I'm going to drive down to Manila. I've captured these two bases, and then the armor is going to just rapidly drive into Manila. Okay, we landed at Manado, and here's what we got in place. We got a nice naval HQ here, which is going to help with loading, unloading, and increase the rearm level of the actual base itself. So I'm happy with how this landing went. We'll take this next turn and push these guys into Sedate, and we'll grab it, and then we'll start expanding into the rest of the Dutch East Indies, working our way towards Timor and grabbing all this. So in this campaign, this time around, I did a much better job of keeping the 48th Division intact. So if you take a look at this, take a look at this. 48th Division is all here, and we're not missing anything. So as soon as we land this at Rabaul, I could theoretically reform this division, and then I have an entire 48th Division ready to go before I had this scattered all over the place. So that's going to give us a very powerful unit that we can split up and take all these other bases and eventually end up in Port Moresby. And I don't know, if I'm feeling lucky, maybe I'll dip down in here, but this is going to be a little harder, more of a stretch. In the Marshalls, we're expanding into Tarawa, Nauru, Ocean Island, and as deep into the Gilberts as I can get. And obviously we just took Wake, but it's a precarious situation in Wake right now because the American carriers are only a day away. 1 to 2 days away, and they can be here. So I'm not going to hang around. These guys are going to pack it up and immediately start heading for safer harbors. Also, I will be pulling out all unnecessary ships out of the Marshalls because I don't want to risk a carrier raid on here taking out ships that don't need to be taken out. So we're going to pack a lot of this up and move it out and keep bare bones in the Marshalls for now until I can build it up better and put more defensive operations in here. And because I'm feeling really nice tonight, I will show you what we're doing in the Aleutians. So, I elected not to go for Dutch because it ended up being a huge meat grinder, and it was a pain in the butt. And I had to use a lot of the 48th Division to get up there and take it. And well, was it the 48th? Yeah, it was the 48th. And I wanted it down in the Solomons. So we're going for ADAC this time, and I will just worry about these bases for now. And if Dutch Harbor looks like it's something I can do later on, I'll do so. But this is what we're landing with: a few aviation support units, a naval construction unit, and a road construction unit. And we'll land at ADAC and start fanning out and taking the nearby bases. And if nothing else, I'll start building this place up for anticipation of future operations if I want to do that. Yeah, I think that's it for this turn then. This in closing, this went way better, and I've done a much better job keeping my divisions together, right? Look at this. The 48th, fully intact and together. We've got the second. With the exception of that, I have it together, right? The fourth. You know what? I don't need to be showing you all this OPSEC stuff, but take a look here. Look at this. 18th Division. At Singora, all of it. With the exception of the Armored Regiment, which I do have detached for now. But the whole 56th Division, I'm sorry, 18th Division is here. And look at Kotobaru. Ready for this? I'm so proud of this. Look at that. We're going to rebuild this regiment. Right, 124th. That's another regiment I have available now. And check this out. 5th Division. All at Kotobaru, except for the armor, which I intentionally detached. These guys can form back up down here at Johor. But do you see what I'm saying? I kept my divisions together, so they're all intact. I'm really happy with that. So we're off to a great start. The Kido Butai will be safe. You'll just have to wait and see what I do with it. It's a secret for now. Kido Butai is safe. Our landings in Malaya went off great. We took no shipping losses this turn. We inflicted heavy damage to Manila and the submarines there. And we also know exactly where the Force Z is at and how badly damaged they are. So we anticipate them not being much of an issue going forward. That's another great thing. So yeah, I think all of my objectives were met for this turn. I kept my stuff where I wanted to. We took low losses and we're positioned to continue on doing great. So for those of you who had the patience to remain with me and understand why I restarted this, thank you so much for that. I guarantee you a better campaign now because we're better positioned and we aren't playing so aggressive. I think it's going to work out great. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.